Okay, I'm still in shock. Like, literally, I am still in shock. If you look right behind me, I just finished watching Dexter Resurrection, episode 9. And... okay. All right. We're going to have to rip the Band-Aid off right away. So major spoilers right now. That ending was fucking crazy with I almost said Dokes, with fucking Batista dying. Like, I'm shocked. As you could tell, I don't even know how to address this video. I literally have, I'm not even kidding, guys. I literally have like a whole list here of everything. It's probably going to be hard to see. I have a whole list of everything I loved about the episode. And there was so much that I was already like, as I was watching the episode, I was, planning on how I was going to address it in the video. But that ending completely fucking rocked my world. And now I don't even know how to even talk about that. So... okay, I need to get my composure. I mean, I didn't even finish. Like, I literally clicked end on the episode 2 minutes ago, and now I'm like still reeling in this. This reminded me a lot of a death in Better Call Saul, and I saw it coming from the beginning of the episode. And as you guys know, I've been saying that I thought Batista was going to die in this episode, or at least in this season. But now that it happened, I'm like, I don't know how to feel about it. This one's going to take me way longer than just this review to talk about. Like, I genuinely don't know how to respond to that moment. There were things, obviously, like the way this was being set up, we knew this was going to happen. We knew something was going to happen with him because he's swimming too close to the sun. Is that the phrase? Swimming too close to the sun? I don't. Do you know what I mean? Like he's getting too close to the sun, flying too close. I don't know the freaking term. But we knew that something was going to happen because of that, and it did. And, like, on one hand, I think for the story that they're telling in Dexter Resurrection, that it was actually really well done. Like, it made sense. But on the other hand, I don't know, I guess the way it went down with Batista going in and, like, fighting everyone, and then when Dexter saves him, like, touched by an angel, he saves him, then he just automatically fights. And obviously, as soon as I saw Charlie give Prader the gun, then it's like, oh, okay, like something's going to happen here. I'm not going to lie, it was kind of predictable. Like, and honestly, I know there were some recent things, like we were just talking about some stuff and predictions and all of that stuff, but like, it was definitely a little bit predictable for sure. But I just don't even know. I don't even know how to address this. And I'm sorry, this probably isn't good. Like, this is going to 100,000,000% require another review midweek, because this is just my raw fucking reaction to this. Like, oh my God. Oh, all right. So Batista's dead now. I don't even know what that's going to mean for the story. This really did to me feel like the Better Call Saul episode that I'm not going to say because I don't want to spoil that for you, but just everything that could go wrong with Batista went wrong with Batista in this episode. And I'm disappointed at the fact that he just went on this rampage and like fought the people to get into Prader's mansion. The fact that worked, honestly, it was a little unbelievable to me. That was a little disappointing. I'm feeling all emotions. Like, I loved this episode, loved it. It was one of my favorite episodes. Definitely, I was on the edge of my seat the entire episode. I had so much fun watching this episode, but like the way that went down at the same time is equally disappointing. So I'm not sure how to feel. The way he goes in and fights everyone after he was like kicked out of, the New York homicide department, and the way it went down there, knowing he would probably get arrested for it, but he decides to fight this billionaires group of people. Then they bring him in, and then when Dexter finally saves him at the end, he still goes on the rampage, which gets him killed. Like, honestly, it was predictable. It was predictable, and I think that was disappointing the way it went down, but also in the same vein, I just thought it was really well, and I thought their conversations that they had, albeit this felt quick with the way it killed him and all of that stuff, I did like some of that. Like, I loved how Dexter tried to explain to Batista that the reason Dokes and the reason Maria died weren't him, it was associated with him, and that's what I love. I love that Batista was like, yeah, but like, I was still here, like, you still got me in this situation. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? Like, guys, I'm not gonna lie, this one is going to take me a long time. It's going to take me a few days before I actually really have my thoughts together on this. I'm still fucking in shock by that. Like, let me put it to you this way. That death that I keep bringing up in Better Call Saul, when that happened, I sat at my computer screen, like, just shocked agape for a long time, like literally probably for an hour, and it kept me up that night because it was so shocking and crazy. I'm having the same feeling here, but the difference is now I have a YouTube channel and like, you guys want to see my reviews? I don't know what the fuck to say about this one. Like, I genuinely don't. Crazy. It hit all the emotions that I'd want a TV show to hit. Like, it did genuinely, even though everything leading up to Batista getting killed to me was predictable. And we even talked about it being predictable on the channel. Like, I've been saying for a long time, Batista's a dead man. The way it went down in this episode, maybe because of my bias of thinking it's been going to happen, maybe it was more predictable because of that. But my God, like, seriously, my God, I didn't want it. Like, I wanted to see it happen for the sake of the story, right? Because I thought it was where it was going inevitably. But in the end of the day, when it happened, I didn't want it to happen. I was fucking screaming at my TV. Screaming at my TV. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. That sucks. Because I do love Angel Batista. I really do. But like, he definitely had it coming in this episode. There was no way around it. He had to die. But the way it went down too with like Prader and with Charlie and all of that. And I got to say, because now I could get to my notes, because now like the orgasm of that is off and I just freaked the fuck out over that. Now I can talk about some of the things that really like got me on the edge of my seat. And I'm going to go in reverse order a little bit here because I have like a vault of notes. Prader in this episode was absolutely magnificent. Like, he genuinely was magnificent. He came out, and honestly, I think he stole this episode. Peter Dinklage just such an incredible, outstanding job with this role. It's not even funny. Dinklage is just such an incredible actor. He's always been one. He's been one, whether it was Game of Thrones, whether it was anything else he's been in. He's always been great, but here it just works so well. And the slow divulgence into him becoming a monster has felt so natural and not like, okay, he's becoming cartoon villainy. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if it was a certain other actor who couldn't play it that straight, I think it would have came across a little bit different. Or if like Clyde Phillips and the team didn't write this, I think if the writer's room was a little bit different, this could have came off really cheesy. But that slow, natural progression of Prader to becoming seemingly, well, obviously he's been weird the whole time because he like has these trophy rooms and all of that stuff. But slowly, like each episode, you're peeling back a layer and it's getting crazier and crazier. I think they did just an outstanding job with that. Genuinely fucking outstanding job with that. And it came out on full display here. There were so many other moments I loved in this episode. I loved the interrogation with Dexter and Charlie after Charlie had interrogated Harrison. I loved where that went and how he pulled on the red and like was in her Mercedes and vetted her out. And you could tell she doesn't like Prader because Prader has a lot on her. And it's made it very clear that I think in this next episode, we may see the two of them team up in some way, shape, or form. I don't know how this is going to go. And I'm very interested to see because now Prader has locked up Dexter with Batista in the room. Batista's dead, bro. Like, what the fuck, bro? What the fuck? Batista is dead. I can't believe this. Dude, I have to go to work at 8 a.m. It's 1 a.m. I'm going to be up all night. I don't know how I'm going to do this. And I'm going to the U.S. Open. Tomorrow's going to be the longest day of my life. But this is what I do for you guys. No, I'm just joking. It's not what I do for you guys. I wanted to stay up to watch this episode. I wasn't going to miss this one for the life of it. Now I have to talk about it. Oh my God. But I'm just being honest. I really am. Now that I'm talking and now that it's kind of wearing off a little bit, I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's going to take a little bit of time before I say definitively I loved it or hated it. I feel both ways about it, if I'm being completely honest. There were things I really liked about it. I did like the story, and I like where that's going to bring Prader, and I like where that's going to bring. I like what it's already done to Dexter's character, because also, by the way, we saw actual emotion for Dexter in this episode, for him being a psychopath and for him not having normal emotions. It's been a motif of this entire season that Dexter is a psycho, doesn't have feelings, but he has certain feelings. You know what I mean? So to see how much he broke down for Batista and how much he was willing to save Batista, obviously because he didn't fit the code, but also just in general because it's Batista. This is like the closest he has to a brother. To see that and to see him break down was wonderful. It really just genuinely was wonderful. You could tell it shattered him in a way that not a lot of characters would, in a way that it would with Deb, with Rita, with people like that. It felt the same here. And honestly, like Michael C. Hall just continues to do such an incredible job with that. Genuinely really does. But again, on the other hand, just the way it went down so quickly, the way there was no like build up to it, the way it was predictable, and the way now Batista's dead for this, like, I don't know, I'm torn. I'm very torn. And I know I've been vocal about how I think it made sense for the story for him to die, but like, I don't know, the idea that it seems like they're closing off the window, or they're closing off the door, I guess you should say, with Miami Metro, because apparently at the end of the conversation with Joey Quinn, they decided to revoke Batista's badge. So now they just kind of kicked Batista to the streets, and now Batista's gone missing. I still do think there's going to be an opportunity there 1,000,000% for Quinn to come back in the story and be like, wait, now Batista's missing? There's something to this. I think that's going to happen, but then in the end of the day, it's like, now what's going to happen there? How is that actually going to go down? How are we going to bring this to that now? Like, I don't know. I definitely think there's still potential there, because now Joey Quinn knows Batista's going to have gone missing in some way. You know what I mean? I 1,000,000% think there's some potential there, but I still have such mixed emotions for it. Batista's always been one of my favorite characters, and obviously, you know, we're in now the 10th season of Dexter, the sequel series to Dexter, so you know, it feels natural for a big character like that to go. And I love when stories are willing to risk big characters like that. You guys know, if you guys watch my Walking Dead coverage, you know that's something that I'm very fond of in stories, that they, you know, that there's stakes with characters that we know and love. I like that. That's why I didn't care when big characters in The Walking Dead died in that way, because I thought the story was good. And I think that's absolutely true here. I genuinely do. I don't know, maybe it was the pacing of this episode. Maybe, I guess to me, the biggest thing was right after Dexter saves Batista, Batista then goes and like strangles Dexter. And I get it. There's a lot of pent up emotion. I genuinely do. But bro, he just saved your life from a psychopath. He's literally Dexter is literally showing Batista the good in the Bay Harbor Butcher, but he doesn't want to see it or believe it. And I think we needed some more with Batista, I guess is what I'm getting at. Like, it felt very surface level, like antagonist, like all that stuff. But I also get it. You know what I mean? Like, again, if you know what I mean, comment the illustrious dolphin, please, because it's very hard for me to convey it right now just because I'm still in shock. But outside of that, just pretending the Batista thing didn't happen, I still have vaults of notes here to go through. The tension immediately started at American Cut when Prader came in, and that whole sequence, that was really great to see. And I loved that Harrison was being let in the know of every single thing that Dexter did, like how he killed the 2 Gemini killers, how he killed the tattoo guy, Lady Vengeance, all of that stuff. I love that he's letting his son know that, and I love the development that they've had and continued to have in this episode. I genuinely did. I thought it was really great, and I thought it was also great to see some funny moments where like Gigi and Harrison were hooking up on the couch, and then after they're hooking up, Dexter comes in and he feels like so awkward, and I forget the exact line. It was something like Gigi had came in, I forget what it was, it was Dexter walking away when Gigi said that Blessing had like everything in his car talking about condoms. I thought that was hilarious. Dexter was like I thought that was so funny. Genuinely, I thought it was great. Like, there was a lot of great moments from start to finish. I mean, I was sitting on the couch, and from start to finish, as I'm watching the episode, I was like perched up on the couch like, what? You know what I mean? I was freaking the fuck out the whole episode because honestly, like I said, and like I keep going back to me, it was definitely a little bit predictable that Batista was going to die this episode. If it wasn't the fact that the name is called the touch of an angel or something like that, or the fact that we've been building to this, or the fact that even in the beginning it was discovered that Prader was involved with all of this, it was very obvious that that was going to happen. I kind of wish it wasn't so obvious. You know what I mean? But is that me saying that who's a Dexter YouTuber and talks about this stuff and has been speculating? Like, I'm curious to know, did you see this coming? You know what I mean? Like, did you genuinely see this coming, or was it like predictable? I don't know. For me, it felt extremely predictable, and I'm disappointed because of that. But I don't know if it's disappointment by my fandom of the show and me looking and overanalyzing a lot of shit, or if it's the fact that it was just portrayed that way. It's going to take another couple viewings for me to figure that out for myself. On first viewing, I still absolutely loved this episode. I would give it a very solid rating. I'd probably give it a 9.5 or a 10, to be completely honest. That's how strong I felt about this episode from start to finish. And I loved everything. I didn't even mention the fact that Prader was kind of in love with the idea of Dexter being the Bay Harbor Butcher. He loved that idea, but the blood sacrifice would have been Batista. But then when it came to be that Prader then killed Batista, it was just a shock. I mean, I guess that was a little bit of a twist, but as soon as you saw Batista strangling Dexter, it was obvious what was going to happen. It wasn't a shock that he was going to get shot. I mean, the setup was all right in front of us. They spelled it out in plain English. So I don't know. I'm very torn about this. And I'm very interested to see what some other YouTubers have to say about this one. I can't wait to go and watch other people's reviews. For instance, I know Cody Leach just came up on the channel recently because I do love Cody Leach, but I'm so interested to see how he feels about this in particular episode, because I know in the past he's said he was a little concerned in general about Batista's death and how that would be handled and all that stuff. I can't wait to watch that video. I'm not gonna lie. So if you're watching this, definitely go check that out after that too, because I'm sure that's going to be fun. But I'm sure these reactions are going to be great to see just in general, man. As a fan of this show, I'm genuinely, I just don't know how to feel. And I know I keep repeating myself over and over, but guys, it's 1:15 in the morning on a work night. I never stay up past 10. So I'm delirious and shocked. And God, wow. Definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Did you think this was an insane episode? Did you think this was good, bad, ugly, indifferent? I guarantee you this is going to be one of the most controversial episodes of Dexter of all time. So very interested to see what you have to say. And sorry if this was a lot of me rambling. Sorry if this was me just brain dumping, but I literally am reacting live to this episode right now. So I feel like I owe it to you guys and in general to come back and do a more talked about review, I guess, about the Batista situation once I've settled. You know what I mean? But yeah, definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Be sure to get subscribed if you're not already. Follow me on Instagram at jerrys.takes and X at jerrys_takes, because I post there all the time, and don't ask me why there's a difference between the dot, the underscore, whatever. But with all that out of the way, thanks again so much for watching this video. Can't wait to start a conversation down there in the comments. And until the next one, I'll talk to you later. Peace out.